Hi, and welcome to the Nine. I'm JM Olofsson. I'm joined today with special guest Goði of Urdr Dypt, Kentuckiana. Welcome.
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me.
We'll get right into it. A lot of people are unsure of Goði's responsibility within community and kindred. Would you mind talking a little bit about how you serve your kindred, the different services that you offer, things that you do to make you what you are?
So, pretty much, as a Gothi, you're kind of looked at as the preacher of your group. A lot of the time, you're delivering rituals and ceremonies for people, doing weddings. Just like I think it was like 3 weeks ago, I had to run out and meet a guy just to go sign his ordination papers or marriage certificate. That way, he can get married in like a short amount of time. Um, you do a lot of that stuff, and you do a lot of paper signing. Um, we do the naming ceremonies for newborns, and we just recently started doing funerary rites for departed people. We may do ceremonies for them, and you got to be there for your folk. A lot of the time, what I do during the every day to day stuff is just talking to people, being that person if they're having a hard day, talking them out of a dark place that they may be in. If they're feeling suicidal, you can talk to them and get them going the right direction.
You've done a lot of organizing for your kindred. When you had first started, you were in a leading position. You were voted unanimously to start building community in your area. Recently, you've taken it upon yourself to make a change in the setup of your organization there, and you elevated another to a position of leadership within your kindred. Tell me a little bit about that and how it came about.
So pretty much, my goal for Kentucky has always been to get either my own organization built up or become a part of an organization that I felt had really strong structure. And me and you started talking a while back, and we ended up putting Kentuckiana together, and we became part of Urdr Dypt. And once I kind of got the roots planted and started building a little bit of structure out of the organization for Kentuckiana, I felt that what I was trying to do had been accomplished, and I was able to focus back on a role that I felt my personal calling to, which is more of a spiritual role, serving the folk as a Gothi. And throughout my whole time doing this, I've had one person that's been pushing me to get things going. If I was getting lazy or taking too much time off from doing something, Elizabeth Ellibrock, she was always that person that was there pushing me along, saying, "Hey, we need to get this get together going. Hey, we need to get this done. Hey, Pagan Pride's coming up. We need to be able to start looking into that." And it was just a natural selection for me to choose her as my successor, because she's always had that leadership drive, and I was able to focus on my roles once again without having to worry about the kindred as a political view, I guess you would say.
I followed you guys really closely, and I can definitely say that she's hit the ground running.
Yeah, she's done a
Some
great job.
positive things there all around. As one of the first graduates, when we unveiled the ordination program, do you feel that having gone through that experience and completed the program, that it's had an impact on your role or how you serve the community at all?
Yeah, I know that before I was kind of nervous about doing weddings. Like I wasn't for sure on the whole structure of how to go about doing a wedding ceremony, and I really liked how the program broke down a a structured ceremony for weddings, and it gave me a little bit more drive to get out there and start pursuing doing things that I was uncomfortable doing. I started getting a hold of people that were like, "Hey, I'm looking for somebody to do my sword exchange ceremony," and I started saying, "Hey, I'm here, I'm available," talking to people. It gave me a lot more confidence in doing things, I'd say.
The next question I had planned, we've had some new information since that's come along. So we'll throw a free one in there. I know that you're an advocate for uh, the use of substances in achieving some of the work that we do for our folk. Um, do you have a favorite? Is there something that is kind of like your go-to when it's time for you to step into a real spiritual place or be able to go there for answers or provide back for your folk? Is there a preferred method that you have?
Uh, a lot of the time, it'll come down to I'll do some drumming. Sometimes I will use ayahuasca, which we're kind of looking into a little bit right now for the state. Um, the biggest thing with getting into these substances, if you're interested in trying them, I just always suggest that you have somebody there that has experience doing it. Don't ever just try and attempt things on your own, and you just got to be really safe.
I don't think a lot of people know this about you, but you are one of very, very, very few that I have ever met that have been on your path since the day you were born. A lot of people convert or come over from another faith, but having walked your path in the time that you have, who is someone that still inspires or motivates you in what you practice?
This is a very complex question because I feel like there's multiple parts that go into it. A lot of what still drives me today is the people around me. Um, I have a great group of folk in the kindred right now that have a lot of questions for me, and it gives me a lot of insight to go and dig deeper into um, getting the answers for them. Um, my grandparents have always been very supportive of me. My grandpa, he practiced himself, and I actually got to experience a lot of that in Germany, getting some of the tradition from there, which has been kind of interesting seeing how popular it is in the United States and a lot of the similarities between the two countries. I feel like a lot of it has grown in the United States to reflect a lot of what you see overseas, more authenticity, and I gained a lot of my drive from my people. Um, they Without them, I wouldn't have nothing to do. They just keep me going.
I can definitely attest to your mention of the authenticity of things overseas. My travels in Iceland were life changing. The experiences collected there, um, getting back into European countries where our faith is based or comes from, our ancestors come from. It's a really, really rewarding experience. Um,
Yeah,
I know that you
you're one of the
have,
lucky ones getting over to Iceland before the quarantine and everything took place. Because I was actually scheduled to go to Iceland, and then all of this took place. So now I had to get refunded on my flight.
well, that kind of leads into the next one. I know that you've not really been able to do a lot here lately. None of us have with this COVID-19, the coronavirus epidemic happening, everybody with the stay-at-home orders and quarantine, no interstate travel. But once this is lifted or once we're past it, what are some of your goals for Kentuckiana for the rest of 2020 or Elizabeth? Do you know if she's got any goals or big plans for you guys? Anything that you plan to attend or to do?
I know that we're getting really antsy and we're tired of just talking to each other through chats. So I know last night we was actually talking about getting a camp set up here soon on one of our properties, either mine or one of our other members, where we're all going to get together. We're going to have a camp out, do some rituals that way, and spend time together because we're all getting a little bit tired of just seeing each other's words through a cell phone screen. Um, I know Elizabeth is really hoping to do Pagan Pride in Louisville this year, which is, I believe, in September. So hopefully everything is lifted by then and they're able to continue doing that. We're going to try and get some pamphlets put together, giving out more information on ossetry and heathenry. I know we had a lot of good plans for this summer that we've had to put on hold. I know we're going to try and do the Pagan Pride. We're going to do a camping event as soon as things get settled, where we're going to be doing ritual. And I know we're going to try and do some type of a camping, canoe, kayaking type style trip as well, where we're going to do like a 28-mile trip and camp out overnight, which I'm looking forward to that because I really enjoy being outdoors.
And believe it or not, that actually leads into my next question. Practicing in your role, I know that nature, being in nature, plays a big part. What does it mean to you to get out and experience life in the wild again and in the trees? What does that do for your path and your practice?
I think that it has a lot to do for me personally. I know a lot of people nowadays, they've started building indoor altar spaces. I don't myself practice that way. My temple is out here. I mean, a lot of people make fun of me because of it, but I walk around almost barefoot 365 days a year. Like if I'm outdoors, I normally don't have shoes on because I love feeling that connection to earth. I don't like having to walk around with shoes all the time. I walk around in the snow. I mean, like 2 feet of snow. I'll be walking with like flip flops on, and people are just like, "You're nuts." And I feel more connected outdoors in nature than I could in anything that we build. And it kind of ties into one of my biggest experiences I myself have, where I felt a specific call from a God. Um, I was out hunting one time in like 111-degree heat, and I got super lost. Like I had no idea where I was at. I lost my water bottle, and I started to have a heat stroke. And like I had my hand on the phone, like ready to dial 911, and I just heard a voice in the back of my head, and it just said, "Get up." And I got up, and I just felt a really strong connection to Uller, and I felt like he is the reason that I was able to find my way out. Because I mean, I was literally about 8 miles deep in a state park, no trail markers, nothing, and that voice in the back of my head is the one thing that kept me going. And I just can't get that feeling inside of a house or a building. It only happens out here.
In a few words or a sentence or two, what would be your best advice to someone new to their path or a newcomer to also true or this way of life?
I would say avoid a lot of what you see on social media. There's some good people online, on Facebook especially, but there's also a lot of trolls on social media. Just do your own research. Don't take everything that you see for full value. Put in the time, read the books, and just double check and fact check people, and do it for the right reasons. Don't do things like get titles just to seem cool. I mean, do it because you feel the draw to it and you feel that is what you're called to.
It's great advice. And I think what a lot of people miss is that you can't just call yourself something. A lot of these positions are elected by the community, by their support, by their trust in an individual, and being able to perform and uphold the responsibilities that come along with. Excellent answer. Uh, Goði, I appreciate your time, your insight, your answers to these questions, and sharing with other people today. I really appreciate you being here.
Appreciate you giving me the opportunity. It's a great thing that you do. I praise you all the time for a lot of the stuff that you do for the community and for the organization, and as well as our new chiefess of the organization, and our local chiefess. Everybody, we're just a great group and a great family.
I absolutely agree with that. So thank you all for your time this evening and spending it with us and giving us the time to bring some of these questions and answers to you. I hope it helps in your path as well. And until next time, I will see you then.